Kotoko have a point to prove against their city rivals, that is Nations FC. This is going to be a cagey one because it is the Ashanti derby. The first leg of this fixture was chaotic and it ended in a draw. Can Kotoko actually get a win, which will be a revenge for them and also would be good for them because they've been losing matches in the second round of the Ghana Premier League. Then on Monday, there are two games with RTU taking on Accra Lions and Heart of Lions, who currently find themselves in the relegation zone, also coming up against Baby Gold Star. So two matches to show you today, but first will be at the Akun Park, where Medeama will come up against Dreams FC. Then later at the Barbara Sports Stadium, it promises to be a war, a battle between these two sides. Again, my name is Mutale Yakub. You're live on Max TV and also on Star Times at the Channel 247. I've been joined by two of my colleagues in the studio, and they will be doing the analysis for both games there. Josiah Okokwe is here, of course, and Nana Edu as well. You'll be hearing from them. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Always a pleasure to be here, but yet to be my all African games as well. Nana Edu, I have to eat a humble pie. I was one of those people who, when Desmond Affair was given the job as the Black Satellite coach, I told you I don't know him, and somebody that is unknown, me checking his CV, I don't think he can do such a job that comes with a lot of pressure. And you told me, let's give him time and see what he can do, because after that first game on Boy on board run, you said you saw something that could be used for something that we can grow, and we've gone on to win the gold medal.
I think it's a combination of a lot of factors. We have a good technical team. Desmond Affair, Neo Datalamte, former player of under 17, under 20, Blasters, and of course Fatal Salifu, former head coach of Heart of Lions, and former Sante Kotoko Dreams FC goalkeeper, Ajay Kamwakon. They did a lot of work to make sure this team will go far. And also individuals on what team they are Premier League teams players. Most of them they see in the Ghana Premier League, and some of them are even foreign players in under 20 teams. So you can see there is some understanding beyond this and of course you can see they are really hungry for success, and most of these players are matured players. Ofori McCarthy has played for Dreams FC for more than 2 seasons in the Ghana Premier League. So even though he's playing for the under 20 side, he has rich experience in the local league. A free year was part of the Pakusi Fabin under 17 team that played in the Wafu tournament in Cape Coast, Ophelia MRI scan. He was part of that team. So he has rich experience in the local scene. A player like, Abdulaziz Issa has been in Dreams FC in the second season.
He's currently one of the best young kids in Africa.
Absolutely. Also, they say, Sulemana, the younger brother of, Blaster player, Kamaldeen Sulemana. He has been in the country, moved to France, and is part of the under 20 team. So they have some rich and experienced players in the team. Compared to the previous under 17 and under 20 team you've seen in recent times. And when you look at the Asian guy from Samates, all these players are almost tested the local football for a very long period of time. So many factors are a contributor to their success. But one thing I would say is the Uganda team gave us a very good final. Uganda team also were, future in the near national team, the Uganda national team. Remember the last time under 21 the African champion, we played the Uganda team. Abdul Fattah Ishaku and your own Pesos Bois. Daniel Free Barnier. And anytime there is a free in our team, he makes sure in a final of every competition or say. In 1978, when Ghana was hosting the AFCON, the time we won it, Pokwe Free scored a crucial goal in the final. We went to the under 20 tournament. Daniel Free Barnier scored 2 goals in the final, and now another free in the final has scored the most important goal for the under 20.
So you are saying anytime there is a free
once there is a free in a Ghanaian team in the final, a goal will come from him. So it tells you it's something that is working for us. So I'm not really surprised this under 20 team has been.
Then I think it's about time when we get to final, we change the names of players to a free to see if we can actually be lucky again that it would work for us. But Josiah, you have also seen the progress that the Black Princesses and the Satellite have made. We've admitted, even the FA president has admitted that there were some loopholes in our games that we needed to work on, and he has come out with the mantra fixing the fundamentals. We've seen what these two teams have done. Is it something like a start part for us to say that, okay, we are starting from somewhere and it's beginning to bear fruit?
Right, Mutala, to start off with, if I'm to just take into consideration all we've seen national teams or the junior teams the kind of success they've been able to achieve in recent times, I'll start by saying Ghana football is not dead. Like the popular narrative that, has been hovering around for some time now, saying that Ghana football is dead. And Mutala, I'd say I'm a fan of what is going on now. The football DNA, the strategic football, all these things coming together, to fix these junior sides. Because for some time now, we've always had issues with these junior sides. For the last couple of international tournaments, for the under-20s and 17s, we failed to qualify. And even when we've qualified, we failed to even make a mark. Now, we go back and we try to fix the fundamentals. And when we host the African Games for the first time on home soil, we make history by winning gold in both the men's and the women's categories. And that's unprecedented. It has never ever happened. It has never ever happened. Now you look at the under-20 team. You look at this under-20 team, and I liken it to the under-20 team of the English national team, where you have most of the players playing in it having gotten Premier League experience already. So whenever they turn up in tournament, they don't fail to deliver because they faced big teams. They've played in high-profile games. They are matured. They have the exposure. They have the experience and all that. And that was what we saw from the boys. You take away the first game we played where we played a goalless draw. The rest of the games were games where, yes, sometimes they had to grind, dig deep and win, but yet they showed character in it. So you look at the under-20 team and what they are achieving now. And Mutala, you wouldn't be far from right if you say that the future of the Black Stars is what? It's very bright.
That is because if we do a proper transition.
It's also dependent on how the players also transition individually on their own, because you wouldn't force a move for players. The country wouldn't be forcing, or the FA wouldn't be forcing moves for certain players. But most of these players will have to face, be relevant. They have to stay relevant.
I think one of the issues that we've had as a country in terms of our transition is after a major tournament where the future of the players, where they move to. Some players move to leagues where you can't even monitor their progress.
Yeah,
if you go to Lavia, for instance, I mean, we won't be able to see your progress.
It has to do with the agents, taking care of these players.
They want money.
It's not always about the money, but sometimes choices are always risk. You can make a choice and later, it would end up giving you what you want. But Mutala, I'm looking at this under-20 team, especially looking at the fact that after the initial call-up, some players from top clubs had to be sent home because the coach felt they were surplus to requirement. And already that raised eyebrows. People started questioning, the competence.
The likes of Peter Akwa Amidu were all dropped.
Because if you have Peter Amidu Akwa,
and Peter Akwa.
And if you have Peter Amidu Akwa, who plays for Asante
Kotoko,
being dropped from the under-20 side, that should tell you that there is so much quality in them. Maybe these players are not playing for Kotoko. That's why we are not seeing them. But the likes of Frederick Kessie, remember Adumaku, you can name the players. These are players we've seen play. Sulemana, Abdulaziz, Issa, who have played.
I think even the two holding midfielders, on a good day, they can play the Blasters. The Mahmoud guy and the AJ guy.
Let's not jump the gun. This is just the... Yes, I don't want to make the All-African Games seem like a tournament that is not competitive, but it's just the All-African Games. They have to go through the ranks. Playing for the Black Stars comes with a different form of pressure.
Mutala, before Ghana won the Under-20 World Cup in 2009, Jonathan Mensah in your call-up in the Black Stars already.
Yeah.
Ajiman Bedu in your call-up in the Black Stars in 2007 when he featured in the friendly game against Australia. When you call up already, Samuel Lincoln Harris Nafo from Asante Kotoko and the Bashir Hayford team, when you call up in the Black Stars already.
Yeah.
After the Under-20 World Cup, Rabi Mohammed joined them. Dominic Edia then have moved to AC Milan, joined them in the Black Stars. They went to the Nations Cup in Angola, and of course the World Cup in South Africa.
After the Under-20
that is why I'm saying some of these players. That was
the World Cup, and to be able to play against the Brazil side that had the likes of Teixeira, Douglas Costa, it was a very high competitive level. This is just the All-African Games. I have no disrespect to the teams that came, but this is not the highest level you can get as far as it's concerned. I feel we should transition these players. They should go to the Under-23. It is there. The Black Meteors team. Let them go there, develop themselves further. I saw some great players in there, but they need further development as far as their game is concerned.
Sometimes it depends on the quality of players you have in the main national team.
Yeah.
When you look at the quality of players we had that time in the Black Stars,
so integration
they were
was
more
easy.
matured than this particular Black Stars. Even though that one, the day Ayo and the lights were able to enter into the Black Stars, they entered into the Black Stars. How much this current Black Stars team? Edmonado, Idrisu Baba, some of these players, when you look at the kind of football Mahmoud and AJ played in the heart of the midfield, for McCarthy, I think they don't have more than 2 years to enter into the Blaster if their progressing goes well. Career choice is very important. You remember Dominic Edia? I think a move to AC Milan was the reason why we didn't see Dominic Edia. Sadiq Adams, a move to Atletico Madrid. You remember? Now the roommate was David De Gea in Atletico Madrid. That move didn't bring the best out of some of these players. So the career choice is very important for some of these players. Unya under 20 be bar. What sometimes French League 1, Danish League. You look at a team and likely you get playing time. It's not because we face care about bottom. Fine, but a typical Ghanaian player, Sikaba, you cannot say no. Every Ghanaian person have love for money. The motivation Yesika. And
I have worked with a few players, and I can confidently tell you the pressure sometimes from agents, from family. It's more making decisions. But you
Friday you spoke to Samuel Nkum on Sports Park 89.7. He told you, or the name Kokumase.
Sometimes
told you
what the family would tell you. One is our contracts now, but it's about time we begin to change that narrative, because these crop of players, any their technical team, if we are able to keep them and see them progress to the various ranks, so that is for the All African Games. Congratulations to every athlete that won a medal for Ghana, and those who couldn't even win medals with their efforts. It's also appreciated.
I think it's about time you see Bazigi Abasu.
Yeah.
It's not easy to win gold medal on 2 different African games.
2015 and now.
2015 and now. In less than 10 years, we win it 2. Many sure that there is a coach on African continent about to achieve.
Well, yeah,
so if you to make us say this person is in charge of our national team or our technical department, I say Bazigi in charge of women football at a technical level, because I'm not sure when it comes to women's football, it's taking teams to the different level.
As far as I can remember, you see, Bazigi has been doing women's football, give and take, like 15 years. So, I mean, he's one man that is proven as far as women's football is concerned. And I wasn't surprised that he won gold with the black princesses there. And he will continue to do more. The Under-20 Women's World Cup is coming up, and I know Bazigi would do a good job. Let's now turn our attention back to the only...
To transform into a title contender. Whatever trait a team needs to be tagged as a title contender, Heart of Oak proved to have it in the second round. Look at the wins they had. RTU, they went to Swatchaman, they won. They drew against Tano Bofakwa. They also, won against Pando Heart of Lions. There's a team that were playing, I would say relatively better than the other teams in the second round. And it was all because they had a new technical direction. The coach came in with a purpose. You could see what he wanted to do, the philosophy that he wanted to instill in this team. And it was, clear from day one when they played against RTU. But then you could see that maybe sometimes, there's a thin line between being confident and overconfident. And I think maybe going to that game, they were just complacent.
Yesterday, the debate was about the goals that they conceded. Many said it was preventable, especially the first goal. The player goes down, able to take the ball, thread the ball through to Osewu. So if we can see the goals,
you are not far from right, because even the coach after the game, if I don't know whether the coach in the voice in the the coach in the material said he did a big mistake, one in player selection and decision making. When you look at the Samate's team, they were dominating the midfield because of the presence of Emmanuel Kayeke and Seydou Dauda. So when you play a lone holding midfielder in Gledo Tanga, obviously Ombo overcrowded the midfield. So in a game like this, now I was expecting the coach to either start Rafael and Ponsa together with Gledo Tanga or David Oponafane as a DM to support Gledo Tanga. Lenda is an advanced midfielder. Salif Ibrahim is an advanced midfielder. And of course, Salim Adams, or an advanced midfielder. So it makes that defensive midfield role, and you cannot use that midfield to contain the Samate's midfield. When you have, Emmanuel Kayeke and of course, Seydou Dauda. Now, what's that? Ivan Sosei was on the left side. Because yesterday they were missing Dennis Kosa because of the red card on Nyaya.
On record, they've conceded more goals from blunders and goalkeeping errors than any other team in the top flight. Heart of Oak conceded from a goalkeeping error when they visited PBNE Gold Stars. They conceded from the goalkeeping error when I think, which was it Kotoko? They played against Kotoko. Every time, Nations, they conceded from a goalkeeping error. They have conceded more goals from goalkeeping errors than any other team. And it's shocking that, after all the reshuffling, Ayi coming on for attack
really
going on a break. They've not had stability at the back there, and they've signed goalkeepers when the league went for a break. They've signed goalkeepers, so I'm still wondering how Atta at his level, keeping the or manning the post for Hearts of Oak, will still be conceding such cheap goals.
Well, so Hearts of Oak conceded 2 goals and lost that game. Their head coach Abubakar Ouattara, not a happy man there. So this was Ivan Sosewusu's second goal after scoring the first for Samatex, and this was in the 80th minute. But Ouattara admitted that he made some mistakes and he's not happy with the outcome. Let's have a listen to him. Clearly, the energy that Osewusu speaks with, you can see that he is somebody that loves JB Fresh Juice. And I tell you that JB Fresh Juice is the best on the market. And we can say they are proud sponsors of the Ghana Premier League together with Hisense and Medema for Herbal Clinic. So you've heard from them, the 2 coaches, you've heard from Hearts of Oak's coach, Ouattara. And he admitted, Wajia Tumuse, he made mistakes. And that is bold from a manager to openly accept why a mistake.
Yeah, that is what I was talking about before they played the voice. You know, or admit he made the bad choice, and I'm sure it's because of the players on the pitch. On the day, some of the midfielders overcrowded more, so they took over the ball, and the wing play, Oman to man find a solution to, Ivan Sosewusu, and the player going into this game, minimally for scouting. Any match report and of course, match analysis, Edema coach, games like this, you monitor the opponent. Why not your player about me actually to defense? It's Ivan Sosewusu. His last game against Dreams was 2 goals. And Bra was 2 goals. In fact, in the second round, we're involved in a win 6 goals for Samatex. So obviously, Obi monitor opponents. These are one areas that he will monitor for you. So why do you play Lebanto Sata? Why do you play Amankwa Befi? On a good day, someone like, Michael Ampedu can do a good job on Ivan Sosewusu.
Because Ampedu is more sound as compared to Amankwa Befi is more attacking minded.
Especially essentially away game.
Yeah. I was expecting Ampedu in this game.
Approach the away game. Never approach the home game. I understand Amankwa Befi Lebantus for home games. But in an away game, Michael Ampedu is show. So defensively he's on top. So you find a way to stop some of these players. Baba Hamadou Musa didn't play yesterday. More pressure on the Hearts of Oak defense.
Well, so that is how things ended between Hearts of Oak and of course Samatex. And today I've told you there are 2 games to look forward to. One is at the Akun Park where Medeama will be coming up against Dreams FC. There you see Dreams FC's Medeama's dressing room. Then in the evening we will be at the Babayara Sports Stadium for another crunch game between Kotoko and Nations FC. For Medeama, Josiah, almost season I had top seed TV. Currently they are 9th, even though they are the current champions of the Ghana Premier League. Yes, you would pardon them and say they were concentrating on the CAF Champions League. They are out of the CAF Champions League. Now they are back home domestically. And Shadanko, yes, it's been a top seed every time for them. We need back home now. Draw back home, lose back home. They are coming up against a team that is motivated, even though they are also not. They've also not had good or consistent results in the last few games they played in the Ghana Premier League.
I would say Medeama are paying the price for not preparing well for their Africa adventure, and that's the price you pay, especially after you've won the league and the bar is so high for you, and you are trying to start something more of a dynasty, for yourself. Because after winning the trophy last year, everyone was thinking Medeama would be the favorite coming into this season. Looking at how they ended last season, the kind of recruitment they made, even moving their head coach to a technical advisory role and bringing in another coach. It meant that even from the technical perspective, Butala, they had everything sorted out. But then I believe they just didn't do the right recruitment coming into this season, and that was one thing that really affected them. Even when they won the league last season, they had one experienced chap, the former Hearts of Oak captain, at the back for them. Now, after they won the league, Vincent Atinga, they had to part ways with him. You ask yourself, who replaced Atinga in that team? They still lack, and in that position, whoever was partnering Nuruddin Abdullahi, wasn't consistent for them. So the whole of this season, even in the Champions League and also domestically and in the MTN FA Cup, they've been changing, personnel in that particular position. They've never had consistency with the 2 centre backs over there. Abdullahi has been consistent. He also played, alongside Atinga, and Atinga is a very, very experienced player. But then after that, we've seen the captain of the side, Baba Musa, playing in that position. Together with Nuruddin, even when they traveled to Egypt to play against Al Ahly in the CAF Champions League. In that same position, we've seen one Amwa play over there alongside Nurdin Abdullahi. And, you know, every great team, every title-winning team, you know, is built on good defense. And last season, we saw one of the best defenses in what? In the league from Medeama. This was a team that traveled to the Barbara Sports Stadium against Asante Kotoko and won by 2-0. They kept a clean sheet. This is a team that traveled to the Accra Sports Stadium, played against Accra House of Folk in an away game, and charged them by 5-1. So last season, I think they set the bar and the standard very, very high for themselves. But then what they didn't do so well, Mutala, was to prep themselves, you know, coming into this season, knowing that there was African Champions League to be played. And you were in the same group with Al Ahly, Belouizdad, Yanga. And financially, these teams have got a muzzle. They've got what it takes to recruit the best players, and they have squad depth. And that is something I can say that Medeama haven't had this season. Yes, they played well. And, you know, sometimes it's all about the standard you set for yourself. Domestically, the standard was high for them. But then when they moved out, and they had to face other teams from other regions of the continent, it was very, very difficult for them.
Okay. It was a difficult time for them. They've been dumped out of the CAF Champions League there, but their opponent, Dreams FC, are still in the CAF Confederation Cup, and they are into the quarter-final stage. We take a quick break here on Max TV and also on Star Times. It is the Ghana Premier League Match Day 23 game between Medeama and Dreams FC. When we return from the break, we talk briefly about Dreams FC.
Across all religions, all political parties, let's come together and build our football. Millions of people. It is the sport that unites this country. It is our responsibility to hold on to this sport and then ensure we leave a lasting legacy to generations unborn. Our football is coming back. We will be a stronger force. We will be the most loved sport, and together we will ignite passion and create wealth for each one of us. Across all religions, all political parties, let's come together and build our football.
Welcome back from that break. You're still watching Max TV and also Star Times at the Part Channel 247. And this is the Ghana Premier League, the only league that matters. Again, I will say congratulations to the Black Satellite and, of course, the Black Princesses for winning gold. That just ended All African Games. It is Medeama against the Dreams FC at the Akun Park. That is our first stop before we make another move to the Barbara Sports Stadium for that big one between Asante Kotoko and Nations FC. But Lagos Cities will also be playing in Swatraman. Great Olympics will also take on Adriana Bofuakwa, would face Karela. Brekum Chelsea would also be facing Bechem United. Then on Monday, 2 games to go because RTU will take on Accra Lions and Heart of Lions would also be facing Cresiedu's Babiani Gold Stars. But Samatex have already defeated Heart of Folk. So the next one is at the Baba. It's at the Akun Park. Now let's look at the standings for all the teams and see how things are shaping up. So Samatex win yesterday over Hartlepool. I've seen them chop out 42 points at the moment. Nations FC are second. They will be playing Kumasi Asante Kotoko later this evening. They have 37 points. And Medeama lie third with 36 points. In Swaterman have a leapfrog Brekum Chelsea to fourth with 33 points. And Brekum Chelsea, who are being handled by former Hartlepool coach Samuel Boadu, are fifth on the table with 33 points. Bechem United have 32 points and are said with Hartlepool, who were defeated yesterday, stuck at 7th with 32 points. Asante Kotoko have the opportunity of leapfrogging Hearts with a win or a draw against Nations FC today, but they are 8th with 32 points. Medeama are 9th with 32 points, and a win will do them a lot of good this afternoon as they come up against Dreams FC. But the second half of the table looks like this. Accra Lions, they are 10th with 30 points. Baby Any Gold Stars currently are 11th with 28 points. Great Olympics, Oligbogbo Olimashi, Nanaba Namwa Hame with Twitter. So when Olympics are going to play, Menkantre na onche. So Nanaba Olympics are 12th on the table with 28 points, and that is where they lie at the moment. Legon Cities are 13th with a 28 points. Dreams FC, they are 14th with 27 points. Karela, they lie just a place above the relegation zone. They are 15th at the moment with 27 points. But for Aquatano are 16th with 23 points. Heart of Lions currently they lie 17th with 21 points. And Real Tamale United, they are 18th with just 19 points. So that is how things are shaping up there. Nanedu Dreams FC are 14th at the moment with 27 points. Almost so it is going well for them. As for money, Medeama almost season bra. Maybe Medeama are having a good time in the Ghana Premier League. They are chopping up some win. Dreams FC are fantastic. They are flawless in the CAF Confederation Cup. But domestically, if you more, so it has been a terrible time for them. Now, losing so any Musa.
That is why I agree with a lot of people about the Africa campaign. No, I'm a fatigue asset in teams like Dreams FC and Medeama. So when you look at the league log after 21 games, they are at the second part of the league table. Tells you almost struggling in some of their games. In fact, home game they were able to draw 2-2 with Samatex. So it tells you Dreams are struggling in the Premier League, and they have most of their players to, some of them are injured, some of them are with the national team and stuff. So, inconsistency in player selection. So one of the things I of course say Abdul Karim Zito in their games in recent times. So maybe today's game against Medeama, we may see the full strength of the Dreams FC team. Okay. There are some few players who are still not available.
Yeah, we'll talk about them. But this is the form guide of Dreams FC going into the game. Their last 5 matches, I've seen them draw goalless with Karela before they beat in Swaterman by 2-0, and that happens to be the last time they won a game in the Ghana Premier League. Their other games ended in the draw 2-2 against Haas. Then it was 2-0 against Samatex, and their last game saw them slammed to a defeat to Nations FC by a 0-0. So just one win in the last 4 games, not looking good for Karim Zito domestically, Nanedu.
And the 2 home games ended in a draw. 2-2 against Haas and 2-2 against Samatex. And they went to Karela, had a goalless draw, and Nations was able to beat them by 1. That game was an outstanding game. Yeah. Nations picked a 1-0 win against them. And their last away game is the Swaterman game that they went there to win by 2 goals. So if you look at the last 5 games, the only win is the Swaterman away game. So it tells you teams, even at home, they struggle to get the maximum 3 points. So I think they should start picking up.
Are they concentrating too much on the CAF Confederation Cup? And I say you just think that send your kind of fatigue. I don't want to accept the fatigue excuse, because the likes of Al Alimo, they are playing in the competition, Mamelodi Sundowns, and they are still doing it big in their league. So Moka fatigue, I am a bit skeptical there.
It could be part, because before the start of the season, Mama started almost season already.
Okay.
Because the African campaign is starting at the Premier League nations here. And players in Tanzania break for the Africa Cup of Nations. They have to play the outstanding games, so they didn't get a break. So they are combining the second round with the Africa campaign and the second round of the Ghana Premier League. So fatigue not 100%, but it could be part
of
the reason why.
It is a factor. But let's look at the 5 away games, the last 5 away games that Dreams FC have played. 3 defeats, 1 win, and 1 draw there. So they lost against Medeama by 4-1. Lost to Heart of Lions by a goal to Andrew goalless with Karela before beating in Swaterman. That happens to be their last win in the Ghana Premier League, and they lost to Nations FC by a goal to 0. This time they are visiting the Akun Park. You say are not looking good on the road for them.
Yeah. 4 out of 15 points they've been able to get away from home, and it's not bad because ideally they could have lost all these games. And we know the nature of the Ghana Premier League, where away sides always have to strive. And you look at that away win they had at the Nana Kramansa Park against the Swaterman, a huge win for them. That was a week or days after Heart of Oga has also gone there to pick up a win, and that away draw also, that 1 point against Karela. But I wouldn't say it's fatigue. You know, these teams are inexperienced when it comes to Africa. You look at the 2 teams, Medeama and Dreams. Dreams playing in their first ever campaign, you know, in Africa. For Medeama, this is the first time they are playing in the Champions League. And you know, you look at teams like Al Ahly, teams like Belouizdad, when they are traveling from North Africa to Southern Africa or West Africa or East Africa, mostly they look at the strength of the opponent and they try and rest most of their key players, so they don't even come with them. But then you look at Dreams and Medeama, whenever they are traveling,
they have to go with the full house
because you don't have that strength, you don't have the muscle to buy players. And I'm speaking about squad depth. That is something these teams lack. They don't have that squad depth, because you could see Medeama fielding, I think Augustin Adote fielded all his key players in all the games they played in the Champions League.
Yeah.
But for Dreams FC, I think they'll be looking at the FA Cup too. And that was the tickets they were able to acquire to book
and
a place. And they are still in. So maybe it's not just about the league. They would want to just maintain their Premier League status. Try and see how far they can go in the Confederations Cup, and then put everything in that MTN FA Cup.
Okay, so the coaches are ready to tell us what they will be doing in the game. So let's go to the Akun Park and have a listen to the 2 managers.
Coach, thank you very much for giving us a little bit of your time. Now, I would like to find out from you, before this game, how beneficial has been your participation in Africa? It looks like Medeama is growing stronger and stronger.
Thank you very much for some things what you mentioned. African competitions, this is something what I'm 100% sure help a lot Medeama and Dreams also to bring new experience in our team and also in all Ghana football. This is something what is a serious benefit for us, because we played against very serious teams, and this is something what will maybe some things you can't see now, but in future you will see a lot of things because of these benefits.
All right, okay. Your last outstanding match here, you won by 2-0. How has the preparation been for today's game against Dreams FC, another Africa campaigner?
Sure, that was a little short time for preparation, but also we made enough tactical trainings for this. We worked a good analysis of our opponent. They have a really good team, and our preparation was too deep, and I hope today we will achieve performance we want.
Couple of matches towards the end of the competition. It's been very good for Medeama. Like I said, it's been growing stronger and stronger. I'd like to find out from you your assessment of Medeama. Is there the possibility that once you clear the outstanding matches, it would help you push to the top?
Sure, this is something what we want to push in top. This is something what we think this is our place, and also confirm last season we want progress in top. In this season, outstanding matches. If we win this, we will be very close position we want, and also every match is very important. Every point, you know how it's here, very difficult league. A lot of points are inside, and also will be very interested, but we are growing in our performance now. Maybe players also they changed brain on domestic competition, and this is something what is helping in this case, and I hope will be better in next matches.
We wish you the very best.
Thank you.
Coach, thank you very much for giving us a little bit of your time. Now, the Still Believe dream is still on. You have showcased what you can do in Africa. You are still there in the quarters, but you're also battling in the Ghana Premier League. So far, how has it been, the combination of the two?
It's the combination of the three. Play the FA.
And the FA Cup.
Seriously, everybody would like to come out with his best 11. I'm not saying those playing in their position are not bad, but we have the best in everything we do. So when you look at the Africa, after the Africa, they went to the national team, and then Entry get injured, and then Gal too went to Benin national team. So I was left with no option. You understand me? I was left with no option. I have to fight. So I played against Insotrama without them. I played against us without them till today, when I had even Entry is not going to start because it's just coming from injury. I'm now using this opportunity to also start preparing against start the Mali. So it wasn't easy for me. Yes, when you look at the way that things are going, the traveling, in fact, I can't say no, because it's a job. The moment you take any decision in your life, that is your destiny. So I've accepted it, but it's not easy. It's not easy.
You're here this afternoon. Your opponent, just like you, has also gained some experience in Africa. How are you approaching this game?
Well, I'm here with only two options or two objectives, either to win or at least to go back with 1 point. I know it won't be very easy for me coming here to beat Medeama, but it is possible. It is very, very possible. So that is the objective that we brought here. So either to win or to draw, at least to get a point and go home. Because it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy beating Medema. We should accept it. It's not easy beating Medema.
How have the players adapted to playing top-notch football at 3 different levels?
Well, it's all, they say experience is the best teacher. When I was a player, I reached the stage where they've not reached yet. So, coupled with the experience we had from our coaches, Sunday and Malik. So I also brought it to them. So here it's not about yes, experience counts a lot, but this is a case where I'm using young players into Africa, and I made them understand the essence of playing in Africa. At the end of the day, everybody wish to go outside and then change his life, and these are one of the paths to change your life. So they have to motivate themselves. They should not wait for somebody to come to motivate them. They have to do the intrinsic motivation. The extrinsic will come, but go with the desire to play is better than somebody to tell you before you play.
Words of wisdom from Abdul Karim Zito. Coach, thank you very much. We wish you the very best.
Coach Abdul Karim Zito, one of the experienced managers we have in this country there, he seemed to be speaking the Nanedu language, talking about the fact that the traveling within Africa has taken a toll on the team, and he's even missing some players. One of the players that I know they may or are missing this afternoon is Abdul Aziz Issa, who was with the Black Satellite. He is one of their top scorers behind Ajenim Boateng, who has scored 7 goals. Abdul Aziz Issa has scored 6, and he's going to miss today's game. Is it going to affect Dreams FC?
Of course, obviously it would affect them, and no team would love to move into such a very, very daring fixture without their top scorer. He's their top scorer in all competitions this season, because in the CAF Confederations Cup, he scored 4 already in that competition. If you add that to the 6 he scored in the league, that is 10. And no other Dreams FC player has reached double figures already. And we saw how pivotal he's been for them so far in the campaign, in the group stages of the CAF Confederations Cup. And just like Karim Zito, put it, it's worrying times for them. But Mutala, if you want to be ambitious, if you want to do something that has never been done, Mutala, you always have to do it the hard way. Yeah. And that's what Dreams FC are doing now. It looks like clearly what they are trying to do in the Premier League is to maintain their status, try and finish as high as they can in the league, and then pay premium attention to both the cup games or the cup competitions in which they find themselves currently. You look at the team consistently. We've seen Jalilu play in the CAF Champions League, CAF Confederations Cup, and then also the Premier League, and in some FA Cup games. Consistently, we've seen Eti Ahini play. Consistently, we've seen John Entry play. So these are the key players that will have to play all these games. And just like he was saying, They need to what? Go through these what? Things just to toughen them up for the upcoming season, and even the rest of the games coming up in what? In the Confederations Cup, and then also the Ghana Premier League.
Now, Dreams FC have been struggling in domestically, even though they are doing well in the CAF Champions League. They recently signed their former player, Joseph Esau. He's returned to the club. Together with John Entry, what do they bring to the table or to this Dreams FC?
I don't know if Joseph Esau...
No, I'm not sure he will be available today.
Yeah. I've seen your number 10, Sylvester Simba, warming up with them.
Okay.
I've seen John Entry also in the team, and Ejenim Boateng.
Ejenim Boateng is Dreams FC's top scorer. He scored 7 goals so far.
I've seen their captain Jalilu, so it's still a strong, even though lineup, even though they are missing Abdulaziz Issa and they are Medford, Oforu Makati, and these are key players for Dreams FC. But I think they have enough players to be slotted in to play for those players in their position. So they don't have a bad squad. But when you look at Medeama's coach, he was complaining about the smaller period of time they've gotten to prepare for this game. You remember?
Okay, Nanedo, it's that time that we would have to cross over to the Akon Park for the first half of this game. You're watching Max TV and also Star Times at the Patch Channel 247. It is Medeama against Dreams FC. Enjoy the first 45 minutes.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Akon Park here in Takwa, where we're bringing you our continuing coverage of the Ghana Premier League. It's match day 23, and this afternoon is the battle of the African campaigners. Medeama Sporting Club playing host to Dreams Football Club. Akon Park is the venue once again.